In less than a month, we'll have an election about who's going to be the president of Austria. And I don't know who to vote for. But that's probably fine because I don't vote anyways. Because what's one vote anyways? In a country of 8 million, let alone in a country of more than that. So in Austria we have the Environmentalist Party versus the National Freedom Party, I guess, is what they're called. And they're very much the same coin with the two sides that you probably see around everywhere nowadays. One side saying that we have to include the refugees, and the other side saying that we have to remove them and push them out. And I'm not sure which side is better. And I think that radical Islam is definitely a problem, and it's coming more and more. But then on the other hand, I think that Islam could also be something that we could learn from, because they have more traditional family roles where still two people marry and then they have a lot of kids, instead of this lack of children that we have these days. So maybe both sides have a good point one way or another. Luckily, our candidates in Austria are slightly less horrible than in America. In fact, they're probably a lot more agreeable, because we actually have a whole ton of parties. We don't just have two. There's up to 6, maybe even 7 different parties, and they all had their presidents, and then everyone voted, and then out of the 2 that were the best, now we're voting again, so that's why it comes down to 2. We're not a 2-party system like you fools, and we certainly don't have any disgusting electoral college or whatever that's called. God, what a failed abortion of a voting system you have in America. It is just tragic. No wonder that you can't get out of the 2-party system, because only the state has 1 vote, and all the people in that state get overridden to be agreeing on to the one that the most agreed on, instead of counting every vote as you would logically. And what's even worse is the candidates that you've come up with for this presidential election in America. Because in America you have Hillary Clinton, and she is pretty much just an outspoken feminist, and her main reason why she thinks that she needs to be elected is because she's a woman, and that is pretty much a big problem for everyone. Because if that's how she gets elected, just by women for women, it's gonna be very bad for men. They say feminism stands for gender equality, but it clearly doesn't, because just the word alone just doesn't. It clearly has only one gender in the name. They pretty much just only work to empower one gender, and that is women, of course. And that's pretty much it, really. I don't know what side to stand on these situations even. There's all kinds of interesting movements going on the internet as well. Men going their own way, opting out of relationships, and then there's atheists going against Islam, and then there's left wing and right wing and all kinds of stuff. Oh yeah, there's libertarians. Those are great too. Like the Prager University or the Rebel Media. And they might all have a point. Some of them might. And it's gonna be interesting to see what happens, but I don't know what's best, and that's why I don't vote. In case you were going to be annoying about the fact that I don't vote while having all these opinions. I don't know if these opinions are right, and that's why I don't vote. And also, it's not worth it to go out and vote, because what's one vote gonna do? I mean, if you have 1 vote out of 1,000, then you'd have 0.1% chance of changing anything, right? Well, maybe twice that, because your vote would hurt the people you don't vote for, as well as empower the people that you vote for. But still, there's just 8 million people in Austria, and God knows how many in the US, and what's 1 vote gonna come down to? And anyways, I don't know. I don't know what policy is right. Is it the environmentalist policy that will see refugees be encouraged to come to Austria? Or is it the Nationalist Freedom Party that wants to that wants to make sure that we keep our borders secure, and that wants to make sure that the Turkey doesn't become part of Europe, part of the EU, that is. But then again, what do they even know? Do they even want to stay in the European Union, this Freedom Party? Well, I guess it doesn't matter, because either way they would still stay the course of securing the borders. So yeah, I guess maybe Hillary is not as bad as you would think, because what's the worst she could do? Well, besides start a war because of that whole thing with Russia, but who knows? I mean, one thing we know about Hillary is that she is very swayed, very much just doing what the public wants, or maybe that's just now. I don't know, maybe she'll actually be less reliably affected by the public will once she's president, who knows. But so far it seems that she's always gone to the side that has the majority vote. So I guess maybe she's the most democratic of all the candidates, but maybe not, who knows. Maybe she's just one evil monster who's just trying to manipulate everyone, and then once she's at power she'll just declare the war and blow up the world. Well, again, people think that Trump's gonna blow up the world, which I don't see from what he's saying. He says he wants to work together with Russia, so there's definitely no nuclear holocaust coming there. At least less likely. Much less likely. So yeah, I guess you've been made insecure in your opinions, maybe, thanks to me. Who knows? Keep in mind, it's all two sides of one coin, and all the best we really can do is just flip the coin, I guess, and see where it lands. And it's going to be very interesting where it will land and what will happen with this coin. Well, I guess I shouldn't be too worried. My greatest fear is that the more sensible candidates will win, and therefore everything will become less interesting. And more importantly, the more PC candidate will win, I'm afraid. I think the environmentalists and the feminists, they will triumph just because they are slightly less offensive than the other ones. And I think that's not good, because just not being non-offensive is really not that great of a selling point. But then I guess it's fine. There's all these terrible things that people feel will happen, so maybe at least maybe at least their minds will be at ease when the PC candidates triumph. It's too bad, because I think that we should move away from political correctness as much as possible, because all that really is just another form of censorship that we don't need. Why do we have to make sure that absolutely nobody is offended all the time? Can't we just say what we want? Wouldn't it be so much better if we just had someone who would just be straightforward about his opinions and then not even worry about public image as much? Well, guess we can't have everything. I guess Trump, the original pussy gangster, is not going to be successful. Oh well. Let me know if you've all been offended, or if you would like to hear more political opinions out of me, even if you can even call them that. Goodbye.